Hello and welcome back to the Skippers View Podcast, episode 175, brought to you by Chinook Seedery. Be sure to go check out their selection of seeds. Everyone in baseball loves seeds. If you don't love seeds, you're evil. I don't know what to tell you. But the Skippers View Podcast, 10% off. Go to ChinookSeedery.com. Get your products today. We'll start out with the hot corner, and this isn't from an MLB play. This is from our very own Ben Weaver. So Ben is on the podcast with us today. He played in his first men's league. Was that earlier this afternoon?
Yeah, that was earlier this afternoon.
So just so all you out there can see what a real athlete looks like.
I'm
Boom!
past my prime.
No, foul ball. I'm gonna rip it here.
He's battling. I love it, Ben. Battle.
Ben Ruth right there.
There
The
we
way I'm
go.
running, I might as well have been.
Yeah, right. I love the commentary from your teammates in the background that are,
Oh yeah.
Imagine we take this guy apart. So yeah, awesome, Ben. Love to see that. Adult athletics, it's the best. But
Right.
we do got to talk some MLB though. We got a lot going on. We only got so much time today, so I definitely wanted to show that to all of our fans out there. Let's just quickly jump in because this is kind of older news, and then we could jump into like the last 2-3 days really of stuff that's going on. Obviously, Vlad Guerrero Jr. signed this massive deal last week. We're all surprised. We did not think he was going to get an extension done with Toronto. We simply thought he was going to go somewhere else. So he signs for 14 years, $500 million. Little complexity to the deal, though. So there's zero deferred money, which I feel like deferred money is like, torpedo pets are like the same concept. It's like all the rage for a little bit. And then it's like, we never seen a contract before Ohtani's even like have deferments in it, or you know what I mean? Like we never
At least to the
heard it
extent.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's in every deal that we see. It's like no deferred money in this one, but no deferred money, no opt-outs, full no trade clause. So this is wild that he kind of locked himself in to this type of deal, but it includes a $325 million signing bonus. $20 million of that is payable this year before the contract kicks in 2026. So the bonus is spread throughout the deal. Dan, I'll start with you. Any thoughts on the complexity of this deal and why he took it?
I think he just took it because the Blue Jays kind of got desperate a little bit. I'm not entirely sure that another MLB team would have given him $500 million. Like, I think that most other teams probably would have been around the 4 to 425 ish range for that kind of years. And so the Blue Jays, they've swung and missed, pun intended, on every single free agent almost besides Santander. And they had to pull the trigger on somebody, and they had to give him what he wanted, or he was going to call their bluff and go somewhere else. And so I think they kind of bit a little early, but hey, good for them for getting the deal done. They got their guy, and now they're working on Bo Bichette.
Yeah, and I did say I didn't know how much the deal was going to be for, but when we did talk about this, I did say like whatever Toronto needs to get it done. Like throw in a little sweetener if it's a little extra cash right now. It made sense for the youth. You're paying for the youth, and he's a staple now. They don't have to worry about it, but that deal's now done, and we will see Vlad Guerrero Jr. in Toronto for a long time. So we'll move on. This news devastating, and it really kicked into me when I got a second to think about it and like look at it. So what we're going to talk about is left-hand pitcher Justin Steele just went down for the Chicago Cubs for the year. Justin Steele is a really good pitcher. I believe he was a Cy Young runner-up 2 years ago. Was
Something
that?
like that. So it was either second or third. It was top 5.
Yeah, and he is very good. But when you look at this rotation now, you got Steele at the 1. Shota Imanaga had a great year last year, but he's also, what is he, 32, 33? I can't see my screen right now. He's older. And then you got Jameson Taillon, Matthew Boyd, and Ben Brown. Ben Brown's intriguing. We know what we're getting with Jameson Taillon. Matthew Boyd was solid for Detroit, and I think Matthew Boyd's had a respectable career in the MLB. But just looking at this rotation, and Lord knows who they're going to call up. I think it's Colin Ray is taking the mound tonight for them, or did earlier today. He came over from Milwaukee, had a few years there. Maybe he was with Tampa Bay for a little bit, but guys, Hagen, let's start with you. I think Chicago's in trouble with this rotation. They cannot make the playoffs with this rotation.
No, in my opinion, they absolutely cannot. I know you could still probably win the division and get in the playoffs that way, but Milwaukee's good, and they're going to get their guys back. They're off to a rough start with them, but this rotation takes a huge hit with Justin Steele being out because I said Matthew Boyd, he's been really good, but he's been injury prone the last few years. He hasn't been able to stay on the mound. I mean, Jameson Tyone, he's kind of know what you're getting. He's all right. Like, he's solid. Brent Brown's still the younger guy. Shota, I mean, Shota's older. What happens if he isn't looking great or if he goes down? I mean, this rotation, the depth's being put to the test right now, and it's not good. They only have one guy in the minor leagues right now, the starting pitcher on the 40-man roster, and Jordan Wicks. It's probably him or Cade Horton or the next two guys up, and I know you got a great offense, but it's not like this. You have this amazing bullpen. I mean, this bullpen already had a ton of questions going into the year. You got to go out there and get Spencer Turnbull in free agency, or like my favorite would be just go get a Sandy type guy.
Sandy would be huge. I want Sandy after, I think, I forgot who brought it up, but someone said Sandy to Baltimore. I was like, that. I fell in love with that. Sandy needs to go to Baltimore. But Chicago's in a lot of trouble here, in my opinion. I don't know what else they're going to do. He's set for surgery on Friday this week. He's going to get the flexor tendon repaired, and they're going to address, I guess, the ulnar collateral ligament in his left elbow. I don't think it's Tommy John, but it's, done for the year. No bueno. We'll move on, though, off that because, I don't want to talk about sad things. We'll talk about happy things. Max Fried, Jack Flaherty. Not only did they put on a show for us the other day in a head-to-head matchup, for those who don't know, they're also high school teammates. So they put up a combined 20 Ks in the first time they've ever pitched against each other in the big leagues. And they've both been in the big leagues for several years now, both in the National League predominantly. I don't think, besides Detroit, Flaherty was with the Cardinals. And, I guess he was with the Orioles for a year. So he was in the American League for a little bit. But Max Fried, Braves for life kind of guy, right? Before he went to the Yankees.
Well, started with the Padres and then got traded before he made his MLB debut.
Okay. But Fried's been in the league for what, 6-7 years at least now at this point?
8.
Yeah.
8.
So,
yeah.
Point exactly. It's crazy they haven't played each other. I put this in the agenda. Ben, you can't see it. Do you know who their third high school teammate was? He's a pitcher on Boston.
Jack Flaherty, Max Fried, and Lucas Giolito.
Yeah. Imagine you're on a high school team. It's like, hey, we're going to play Jack Flaherty, Max Fried, and Lucas Giolito next week in a series.
That's like playing the high school that has, who's their third baseman? It's Nolan Arenado. Okay, well, if he gets hurt, I mean, they probably got a nobody, right? Oh, yeah, it's some dude named Matt Chapman.
Yeah.
Like, really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they went to high school together.
What's the other really famous high school team? It was with like David Wright, the Upton twins, and was Jeff Zimmerman on that team as well? Wasn't there like a crazy high school team with the four of them?
Ryan Zimmerman or Jordan Zimmerman?
Oh, right, yeah, Ryan Zimmerman. You're right.
Okay.
Upton
I don't
twins.
know. I don't know about that one.
I'm too young for that one.
Yeah.
Do you guys know? You guys know who the Upton twins are, obviously, right?
Well, yeah.
Melvin and BJ.
BJ robbed the Braves of quite a bit of money.
Okay, so it was BJ Upton, Mark Reynolds, David Wright, and Ryan Zimmerman.
On one high school team?
Yeah, one high school team.
At the same time?
Yeah, according to Wikipedia, that's what it says. Yeah, and
oh my gosh.
I think this was where was this? Green Beer Christian Academy, some private school in Virginia. Yeah, it looks like a private school. But yeah,
that's
they all
crazy.
played with that. That is nuts. Absolutely nuts. He got cut off right when we started talking about San Diego's rotation. Very quickly, they've had 5 shutouts already this year. They lead the MLB with 13 wins. Hagen, what are your thoughts? Do you think San Diego's got the best rotation in baseball right now?
I don't know if I'd say the best, but they have one of the best. I mean, you have Michael King, who threw a complete game shutout today, only the second one in all of the majors this year. He's rocking a 2.4 ERA. Dylan Cease, he has an 8 ERA. He is not even going right, and the pitching's looking this good. I mean, Pavetta's been one of the best, top 10, top 5 pitcher in baseball so far through 3-4 times the rotation. I mean, you got a lot of good guys in this rotation, and this is without even Joe Musgrove and Yu Darvish. You don't have those guys in there. And Kyle Hart's feeling it good. Vasquez has looked amazing for him. Like, this pitching's really good for San Diego.
Pavetta has been a dog at home. I totally agree on that. Yeah, I love seeing this competing with the Dodgers, honestly, in the division. From there, we will jump to kind of snippets of what's going on through the American League and then the National League. Real quick with the Yanks, Cashman wins his 25th 100 game as a general manager. Marcus Stroman hit the 15-day IL, which is left knee inflammation. Yeah, who wants to take that one with Stroman real quick? Ben,
I got this.
you got
Marcus
this.
Stroman, if you're hurt, I'm sorry, but this is the most Phantom IL thing ever, and this is just soft to me. I mean, you come out, you say nothing about your knee when you're getting shelled, and you can't get out of the first inning. But then the second you get pulled, oh, my knee's hurt. I need to get X-rays of this. So why didn't you say anything earlier before that? I mean, even Aaron Boone, I don't care if it's the second batter of the game. You haven't gotten, or you're 2 outs down. If you're hurt, you're hurt. You let the team know so you get out of the inning. I know these guys are competitors and they want to go out there and get the ball. They don't want to have the ball taken from them. But if you're hurt, you got to say something, and you can't whine about it after you're out.
Well, see, I hear what you're saying, Hagen, but I think that Brian Cashman moonlights as a quote unquote waste management professional. So I'm not throwing any allegations out there tied to the mafia or anything like that. But you know, think he told Marcus Stroman, like, listen, buddy, you're going on the IL, whether you like it or not. So now go out there to the reporters, tell them that you hurt your little knee and you're going on the IL. And he said, fine, yes, sir, I'm going. And then he did. So I think, again, not throwing any kind of allegations out there, but that's my take on it.
Yeah, it's super frustrating to watch. Just Marcus Stroman. I feel he's just a pain. I feel like he's a pain. Like he's not easy to deal with in general.
Well, he has pain in his knee, apparently.
Hey, he's a
Fair
starter,
enough.
though. He's a starter, though.
He is a
He is
starter,
he is a starter.
just like Devers is a third baseman.
Baltimore. Speaking of starters, they're falling one by one. Their pitchers right now. Their arms are falling apart. Zach Eflin's been put on the IL. This is now retroactive back to April 8th. This is due to a right lat strain. I said this earlier when we were recording before we got cut off. Baltimore's got the worst rotation in the American League East. It's not questionable. I think they're in a lot of trouble. I do not think they're going to make the playoffs this year. That might be a hot take.
I think they got the worst rotation in baseball right now. I mean, well, the worst rotation for a contender, because you're sitting there looking at a team like the Orioles who has an offense like they do, and they're in an awful spot. They're playing the one of the toughest offensive divisions in baseball in the AL East. So you run out there with a bunch of, quad A, whatever starting pitchers, and you're expecting them to get you, 15 to 18 outs a night. And I'm sorry, but they might get you that, but they're also going to give up 3 or 4 runs or more, every time out. They're in trouble. Like, they desperately needed to address the starting pitcher situation over the offseason, and they just did not do that.
No, they didn't. I'll give them this credit. I did hear this actually this week, which is kind of late to hear it. I was listening to some podcasts. It might have been a little delayed. If I download them, I will listen to them. And just supposedly Corbin Burns was matched though in Baltimore. I'll give him credit on that. Or they offered him a deal, and just the money didn't make sense. I don't know exactly how it went down, but they did make an offer. It's not like they just
And
sat on the
it was a
sideline.
competitive offer as well. Like you can't dog on him for you didn't give him the money. It came down to just Corbin Burns wanted to be in Arizona where he's from. His
Yeah,
wife just had 2 kids as well. He just wanted to be home.
But here's my thing about that, though, and we might get to them later. I don't know. I can't see the agenda right now. But same with the Braves too. Like, if you were willing to pay Corbin Burns that money, why not pivot and do something else to address that need that you obviously know is a need? Like, they understood that, hey, we need Corbin Burns. This guy is a bona fide ace. He's been an ace in this league for 3, 4, 5 years now. We need him on our rotation. So the fact that they went out and they slid on Jeff Hoffman, who is having a wonderful year so far, they denied Corbin Burns, or they didn't sign Corbin Burns. Like, where was your plan B, C, D, E? Like, you are a multi-million to billion-dollar organization, and you're going to sit here and tell me that you didn't have backup plans to help address the starting pitcher need that you needed?
I think
That's
Plan B was
ridiculous in
Charlie
my head.
Morton. Plan C was Tomoyuki Sugano.
And I'm sorry, but that's just not good enough whenever you are in the AL East and you are playing some of the best offenses in baseball night in and night out.
Yeah, like Charlie Morton's like more than 10 years older than I. And
And
I'm
I
I'm
love
at the
Charlie.
tail yeah, and I'm at the tail end of like when most professional athletes are pretty much done or like falling off a cliff. Yeah, right? Like 31, like he's what? Charlie Morton's what, 42? Maybe even older?
I think
No, he's
42,
41, I think.
Okay.
41.
Still, he's in his fees. Like, that is not the guy Baltimore needed.
But Charlie is fine for a fourth or fifth starter. Now, granted, this year he hasn't played that well, but he's been the Braves like number 3 to number 5 for the past since 2021, right? And obviously this isn't the same Charlie Morton, but they drafted him and then they got him up in '08, and then he went off and played for the whatever. But like he's perfectly fine for your number 3, number 4, number 5, more so number 5 now. But you absolutely, as a contender, cannot go get 36-year-old Tomoyuki Sugano and Charlie Morton, 41-year-old Charlie Morton, and expect them to be, oh, well, our rotation's just fine. And also, on top of that, Grayson Rodriguez, who is good, but he has not shown you the flashes that you need out of him in order to call him your quote unquote ace or number one starter. Like, he has just not been that guy. And now he's hurt, and now Eflin's hurt. You just dug yourself a hole in Baltimore, and everybody saw it but you.
And
Yeah.
you have a guy like,
That's a good way to put it. Sorry, hey, what were you gonna say?
I was just saying, like kind of the backup that they had, their depth was Kyle Gibson, and I don't know, I haven't heard when he's gonna be ready, but he's still probably gonna take a couple weeks to get fill in that rotation. I mean, right now you have Charlie
He
Morton's
just
probably your
started.
one.
He just started in AAA. What's today? Sunday? I think it was a Friday against Spencer Strider.
And this is no disrespect to Kyle Gibson, but like if I'm the Yankees, like, do you think they're over there like, oh no, Kyle Gibson, he's gonna stop us? Like,
No,
absolutely not. Like, come on. The Dodgers just teed up on Tarek Skubal the other day. He's a fucking American League Cy Young winner last year. And good teams will destroy you. Like, if they have a good enough lineup. Like, Kyle Gibson ain't doing that against a playoff team. Sorry. Yankees, we'll jump quick back to them. I don't know if this was caught in the first recording. Clark Schmidt's going to return soon. He looks like he's one rehab start away from return. Luis Heel is entering a throwing program. Love to hear that. Tampa Bay, Rays reliever Kevin Kelly is going on the 15-day IL with a glute strain. Toronto, their news is Vlad Guerrero Jr. right now. Garrett Crochet looked sharp, and he took a no-hitter into the eighth as the Red Sox avoided a sweep this weekend.
pig.
Is that his nickname that he goes by?
Yeah. Well, that's
I
the
didn't know
nickname that
that.
Boston has given him is the pig.
Why'd they give him that? What's the backing on that?
I don't know, man. I listen to
It
Section 10 a lot, and no free ads, but listen to Section 10 a lot, and they call him the pig on there, and then the Red Sox radio announcers also call him the pig, so I think it's just funny.
I
and it
love
was funny
that.
too because the guy who broke up the no hitter was Chase Mydroth, who was in the Garrett Crochet trade.
Yep.
Shut up, was he?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's funny. That's very funny. It's probably the only time we'll hear that guy's name ever again. Not actually, but you know what
No,
I
he's
mean.
actually good.
Yeah, I'm more just being a dick. I'm sure we'll hear his name plenty over the years to come. We'll jump from the Red Sox to the White Sox. Former Red Sox, Andrew Benintendi, he hits the 10-day IL with an abductor strain. No bueno. Minnesota, we talked about them a little bit. I don't even feel like talking about them again. They're just falling apart. They're selling the team. Pablo Lopez is either on the IL or hitting the IL this week with a hamstring strain. Jose Miranda, for disciplinary issues, it looks like was just demoted to AAA. Brooks Lee's coming up. He's a great hitter in college. Hopefully he can get it together. Minnesota's just not exciting, in my opinion. I did bring this. Chris Paddock, he has almost a 10 ERA. It's time to call up Zebby Matthews full time and just let him take Chris Paddock's role. I think that you're getting virtually no production out of him, and it's time to move on. Any Twins takes from you guys before we jump to the West?
They stink.
They don't look good. It's rough in Minnesota right now.
Oh, very rough. Kenley Jensen, 450 career saves. Hall of Famer, yes, no.
Yes.
Yes, but I think it's going to take him a while on the ballot.
Okay, fair enough. Joe Adell had a 2 home run game this week. Love to see it. I think it's kind of a breakout. Ben?
No, I don't think it's a breakout. I before we got cut off, I said it before. Like he has done this 2 or 3 times already. He'll be one of the best hitters in the game for a 2 week, 3 week, 4 week stretch, and then go right back to a 30 to 35% K percentage with a 5% or lower walk percentage. Like, and it's tough to see because he's just not. In my head, I don't think he's going to live up to the prospect hype that he once had.
Yeah, he had a lot of hype. I hope it's a breakout. He's had a lot of pressure to deal with as a player. His name's obviously been floated for like literally the last 3 years. It's been
Hmm.
prospect Joe Adell. It hasn't been like the guy's played a lot of MLB innings at this point, but he's still young and still exciting. So we'll see what happens with there. And the Angels deserve a break. You know why? Because they roster a guy named Anthony Rendon. That's why they deserve a break. They also roster another guy named Juan Macana, who just landed on the 10-day IL again with a right tier. Is this the beginning of the end for Juan Mancada in the MLB? Hagen.
I still believe in him. I really liked him getting out of. I love the change of scenery, especially when you're leaving the worst team in Major League Baseball history. The change of scenery may not be the best going to the Angels, but I still believe in him. I still think he's got something in there. I'm not saying he's going to be the Yoan Moncada with the top prospect pedigree like that, but I still think he can be a very serviceable player in this league.
Yeah, Dean's was a huge Juan Moncada fan when he was a Boston Red Sox prospect, but I think he was pretty happy they got Chris Sale in that deal.
And then there's just some other news with the Angels too. Is Ben Joyce, their flamethrowing setup man? I guess now he just landed on the 15-day IL as well with shoulder inflammation, which is, I mean, we've talked about it before, Brett, where any shoulder elbow inflammation is just not it's not a good sign. It doesn't feel great.
It's like a running back who has like a little knee issue. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna pick up his backup. So if you want to get the holds guy in LA, is probably go to pick up whoever's the 7th inning guy for Los Angeles. I hate that. I think he topped out Ben Joyce at 105 this year, or something like that, 105.1 miles an hour. Yeah, guy throws gas. No wonder his shoulder. He has a howitzer of an arm, and no wonder his shoulder's falling off his body. Um, Hate to hear that. When did that just happen when we were on?
It happened April 12th, so a few days or yesterday.
Okay, I just didn't
It kind of
catch
flew under
that.
the radar though.
Yeah, it definitely did. We'll jump to Seattle. So Cal Raleigh, who we all knew was a dog, he now owns Seattle's organizational record of 96 home runs from the catcher position. The guy who is right behind him, Mike Zunino, 95 career bombs. Cal Raleigh, awesome glove, awesome bat. He doesn't get enough love in Seattle. I feel it's like literally the rotation in Julio Rodriguez. No one ever talks about Cal, but it's like Cal Raleigh is a bona fide stud at this point. Did he win the Platinum Glove at catcher
Yep.
last year too?
Yep.
We as an industry need to do better hyping up Cal Raleigh. He's a stud.
He did get his contract extension a little bit ago, so that is good for him too. He got breaded up.
Yeah, and you'd think that the Seattle Mariners, like sick rotation, prime time center fielder who's a superstar. You add Zanino, who's like probably the most important. I don't know how defense, whether it's center field, shortstop, or catcher. I would pick catcher as the most important defensively. Maybe shortstop. Ben, what would your take be on that?
Defensively,
Yeah.
just anything up the middle, so catchers or center.
Okay. So you have two elite defenders. Julio Rodriguez is a very good defender as well. You would think Seattle would be better, and then their bullpen. They only just lost Paul Sewald, I think, in the middle of last year. He was there with like Andres Munoz, Matt Brash. They were really good. And once Brash gets back, they still have Andres Munoz closing right now. They kind of have a nice 8-9 inning and then a sick rotation.
Right.
Compare that with Julio and Cal. Like, I'm not even talking about Randy or Rosarena or something like that, or Luke Raley, but
Or Jorge Blanco is going off right now. I gave him a lot of shit before the season started, and he's proven me wrong.
Jorge Polanco's the world out there. But yeah, I can't believe Seattle can't pull it together. Victor Robles, he's an outfielder. This happened last week. We talked about it. He injured himself on a catch, ran into the net, and his shoulder looked like he dislocated it. It now says he's going to definitely miss at least 12 weeks with a left shoulder dislocation. So he'll be out, which no bueno. Infielder Ryan Bliss, he's going to undergo surgery to repair a torn bicep. This happened after swinging on a pitch from Framber Valdez. He whiffed on it, and he's going to be out for 4 months. Could you imagine missing a pitch on a swing and you tore a bicep doing it?
Could you imagine taking him as your last pick in the Skipper's View War draft?
No,
And
did you
immediately
do that?
going,
I did not even
I
catch
didn't even
that.
realize that.
yeah,
That's horrible. I'm sorry, dude.
it's okay, man. I was hype about Ryan Bliss. I'm sorry for him. He's a good ball player. He's a good little ball player. There's a lot of different things that he could do for that Seattle Mariners club when he's healthy. But man, that's brutal. I hate it for him.
I hate that too. I hate that for you. I did not know. That's kind of funny though. I did not know you.
He
I
was
didn't think he was taken in the war draft.
he was my last pick, and I felt pretty good about it. I'm like, listen, this dude's a good little ball player. He's gonna put up like at least 2 to 3 WAR this year. Nope.
Confirmed. It was your last pick.
Yeah.
Well, Hagen and I will update that when we get done with this. But finally, Texas, and then we'll jump into the National League. Wyatt Langford, he's on the IL, right oblique strain. Hate to see this because, dude, he's a stud. Whenever he plays, he's a dog. I just need him healthy. But he'll probably be out for a little bit. I think they're going to take their time with him. There's no need to rush him at this point of the season. It's too early to really make rash decisions. But yeah, we'll move on to the National League. So Ben, let's talk about Atlanta real quick. Let's talk
Do we
about
have
Spencer.
to?
Well, we could just talk about the good things. Let's talk about Spencer Strider and his rehab start.
Okay.
Do we have to?
Well, let's talk about go on, Ben. I want to hear about the Braves.
Yeah, let's hear about Spencer Strider. He's gonna be right back to where he was, I think, when he comes back.
Yeah, I watched his rehab starts, and he was throwing a lot more of his off speed and breaking pitches, trying to rely more on that than just blowing people away because even his velo in his rehab starts was sitting around 96, 95, 96, and obviously Hagen knows too. Like Spencer Strider usually, whenever he's like on is sitting around 98, 99 with his fastball. But I think taking a little bit off of that and focusing more on your off speed and breaking pitches, because I mean his curveball looks nasty from what I've seen. His changeup is developed a little bit better. Obviously, he has a wipeout slider. I think that can take a little bit of the strain off because he's not going to be throwing as hard. And I think he's taken a little page out of a Jacob DeGrom's book, trying to take better care of the arm and the elbow, which is kind of weird considering growing up we were all told, don't throw curveballs, they'll hurt your arm, or don't throw sliders, they'll hurt your arm. And it's like, well, science has shown maybe it's not like that bad. Maybe it's throwing 100 miles an hour for 60 pitches a game. That maybe that's what's hurting people's arms.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's kind of funny. Like, don't go near the microwave, kids. You'll fry your insides. It's crazy what we discover when facts come out. But
I don't
yeah,
remember I don't remember Strider's exact line. So if you have that, feel free to read it.
all I know, he had 13 Ks in the strikeout in his
Okay.
rehab
Yeah,
start. So
he had 20
was
total strikeouts in his 2 rehab starts.
Yeah, it was like, yeah.
he
Oh,
probably
and
was like,
to top
get
it
me
off,
off this field. Like, what am I doing here?
the last start was against the Norfolk Tides, who are for those who don't know,
Baltimore.
yeah, Baltimore's AAA. So Baltimore has some studs down in AAA. So it's not like he was facing just some random minor league team. He was facing a team that has some talent.
And I believe too that I saw someone saying he's going to be making his season debut for the Braves on Wednesday.
I believe so. Yes, I'm not. That's not confirmed yet for sure, but that is what I've been hearing as well.
Be sick. That'll be something I tune into. We'll jump quickly to the Nationals. CJ Abrams, he hit the 10-day IL due to a right hip flexor strain. Hate to see that. I'm a big CJ Abrams fan. I don't know if you guys know that. I love CJ Abrams. I had him in fantasy last year. I took him like with a top 6 round pick, maybe a top 5 round pick. He's so good.
Similar hobby that we like,
What's that?
the casino.
Oh,
Blackjack table. That's what it is.
But
I should have put that one together.
while we're on the Nationals, and I'm sorry, I know we got to kind of wrap it up,
No,
but
no, no, no. All good, all good.
while we're on the Nationals, I would like to talk about how much of a freak James Wood is for a second.
Dude.
There was a video that showed him, I forget who the pitcher was, but it was like a 96-mile-an-hour fastball on the low inside corner that James Wood hit a backside home run against, and it was just like a low line drive. And I'm sorry, but he had absolutely zero business taking that pitch and hitting a home run where he did. But by God, he did it, and it was super impressive.
It was
He,
it was insane, and I was talking to Ethan about that, and Ethan said, in his opinion, that was the most impressive home run he's seen the whole season so far.
Yeah, it was. It was a low, like, line drive home run, but just the fact of the pitch location where it was and the swing that he put on it to inside out it like that. I mean, it was a beautiful piece of hitting, and it was a very, very, very tough home run to have to hit.
yeah, I know this. He's top 10 in the league right now in barrel percentage. He's clobbering it. If you look at the barrel percentage leaders, it's like Aaron Judge. Yeah, and like, it's Shohei Ohtani. It's all the great guys are up there. So if you're top 10 in that category, you're doing something right.
His Savant page is pretty crazy too. If you ever get a chance to go look at it right now, it's nuts.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. We'll jump to the Central, though. Cincinnati, good news for them. They need help with the bats, so having Matt McLean go down on the injured list stinks. I started with the bad news there instead of the good news, but he's going down with a hamstring injury. Andrew Abbott returned, though, and he was activated in his debut. He let up 1 run over 5 innings. He looked pretty good. So good to see Andrew Abbott back for Cincinnati. Love to see that. Milwaukee, they're getting their.
Hold on. Sorry, we can't gloss over Hunter Green either. The start to the season that Hunter Green has had this year, going 2-1 with a .96 ERA, which over like a 400 or 500 ERA plus so far. Second only to Spencer Schwellenbach, who has had a plus or ERA plus of 896. So yeah, I just wanted to, like I said, I didn't want to gloss over Hunter Green when we were talking about the Reds, because that dude has had a phenomenal start to the year.
It was just the easiest way you can correlate it back to a Braves player. It's fine. Yeah, Hunter Green's been disgusting. We talked about him a bit on the last episode
Oh,
here.
I'm sorry.
No, all good, all good.
And
This is
just
baseball talk.
He threw 7 more shutout innings today, so I got to give him some love.
And he's looking like the best pitcher in baseball right now. I mean, if you date it back to his last 14 starts, he has a 105 ERA in 85 innings.
Buddy, you're not putting the respect on Spencer Schwellenbach's name that I need you to right now.
Nick Pivetta at Petco Park also would have something to say about that.
Yeah. Griffin Canning.
Griffin Canning. God, Milwaukee, they're getting their stud back. Brendan Woodruff, he made his first non-exhibition appearance since 2023 yesterday. So he struck out 5 over 3 and 2/3 innings. Woodruff, I've always been a big fan of Woodruff. When he went out with, did he get Tommy John or he had a shoulder or something? I thought.
I think it was shoulder surgery.
I think his was shoulder, yeah. Shoulder inflammation.
We knew he was going to be out for quite some time, and obviously September of 2023. That's almost a full 2 years. Not quite, but still got about 5 months till then. But still, like, he's not back yet, and it's been that long. So love to hear that for Brandon Woodruff. Milwaukee, they need the pitching almost more than anyone besides maybe Baltimore. Seiya Suzuki, he's now day-to-day with wrist pain for Chicago. Not good news on top of the Justin Steele news. We'll jump to Pittsburgh. Joey Bart, who's been having a solid start to the season. I think he's been OPSing like 900 or 800 or something. But he's been really good. And he's now with back discovered. Henry Davis, the former first overall pick, gets promoted. So he has not really panned out. I would say a lot of people would say he's a bust at this point. Hagen or Ben, do you think it's too early to call bust status on Henry Davis?
I would say yes.
I don't think it's too early right now. Yeah, I don't think it's too early, but I he's got to hurry up. The clock is ticking. Is where I'm getting at because he's not quite to like Joe Adele levels for me, but he hasn't even shown what Joe Adele has shown, if that makes sense. Like at least Adele has shown, he can hit for power, he can do this, he can do that, but Henry Davis hasn't done any of that. Like he hasn't really done anything in the majors.
And he was drafted out of college, what, 3 years ago?
2021.
21. So he was like not old, but older because you got to think the first round guys are typically high school shortstops or prodigies and then like all college bats,
Right.
if not internet. And the international draft and signing, that's totally different. So he's been playing around in minor league baseball for the last 4 years out of college. That's kind of wild. But we will talk about this one Pirate who does not get enough love. Mitch Keller, earlier in the start this week versus the Cardinals, he went 7 1/3, gave up 0 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 4 hits, 1 walk. The reason why this was significant because he just became the fastest pitcher in club history to reach 700 strikeouts in terms of innings, and he did this across 718 innings.
Wow.
He's also the third fastest pitcher in team history to reach 700 strikeouts by games. He did it in just at 136 games. Mitch Keller does not get the love that he deserves because he's obviously got Paul freaking Skeens as a teammate who will honestly probably shatter these records, which sucks for him, and it'll probably happen sooner rather than later. Big week for Mitch Keller. Are either of you guys big Mitch Keller fans?
I mean, I love Keller. I think he's really good. I think that the Pirates rotation did take quite a bit of a hit whenever Jared Jones went down, but you have a healthy Jared Jones with a healthy Paul Skeens and a healthy Mitch Keller to go along with Bubba Chandler, who is knocking on the door. Like that rotation could realistically be the nastiest rotation in baseball if they just had anybody not swinging a pool noodle at the plate.
I think Harrington's on the way up too.
Thomas
He might,
Harrington, yes.
and then you also got who I have him in one dynasty league. I don't know where he's at, but Braxton Ashcraft, he's also a dog.
Yeah.
Like Pittsburgh, great stadium. They have not been relevant in a while. I would love to see them, spend some money on the bats and finally, put together a full ball club here. Maybe David Bednar decides to stop playing in the minor leagues. Who knows?
And I think too with the Pirates is someone I was thinking about is they're just the complete opposite of the Orioles. The Orioles have the great offense with no pitching. The Pirates have the great pitching with no offense. At least starting pitching. Pittsburgh's bullpen's awful.
Last team in the Central, Mason Wynn hits the IL, back spasms. Hate it. I have him rostered in 3 different leagues out of my 6. And Nolan Gorman, who I have rostered in 4 leagues. I'm a weird Nolan Gorman believer, even though he's been missing the ball by like a foot when he's swinging. He is back. He's from a hamstring strain, so love to see that. We'll finally jump to the West. We talked about the Padres, Nick Pivetta, so I don't even need to bring this up, but Pivetta has pitched 14 innings at Petco this year, 0 runs so far. And Jackson Merrill, star phenom for San Diego, he's now on the IL with a right hamstring strain. We had a lot of injuries this week. So this move, good news is it's expected to be precautionary. We'd love to hear that. I think that's it. We'll bring up the war draft next time. I think it's still too early in the season to really put in the work to go through all the war and add them up. Just being 15 games in. Let's close it with a big stat. Hagen, what do you got for us here?
So this was put out by Wayne Randazzo, who's the play-by-play announcer for the Angels. Does great work out there for him. So he put it out here the other day. On April 8th, when the Angels were playing the Rays, it was actually the same game that Kenley Jansen got his 450th career save. Since 1920, when the live ball era started, the Tampa Bay Rays became the first team in history to have a runner on third with no outs and not score in each of the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning of the game.
So they got a guy on third, 3 consecutive innings with no outs, and no one got him in for 3 straight innings.
In the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
That's tough.
That's brutal to watch as a fan. If you were actually tuned in and watching all those games like a good fan, that's brutal.
That is tough, brother. Poor Rays. And then they got to beat up on the Braves, so they got to beat up on a minor league team.
They do. Well, I think that's it for us this week, unless you guys have any other closing statements, or are we all good?
I would
I
just say
know
just
Ben.
don't doubt Pete Alonso this year. He's got a chip on his shoulder, and he's playing for that contract this year.
Dude, angry polar bear. I like he. I like he a lot.
Yeah.
I like he, angry polar bear. I know Ben's got to go to Tomahawk Talk. They're about to record. So from us, Skipper's View, go see our blogs. Keep following the social media. We'll be here all year doing some breaks. As always, bye.